The Red Raiders continued their dominance in the Big 12, defeating the Kansas Jayhawks 42-17. But at what cost? As QB1 Behren Morton left the game early with another leg injury, as well as Skyler Gill-Howard, who got leg whipped, according to Joey McGuire. What's their injury status moving forward for Texas Tech? And is there a chance that both, or at least maybe one of them, plays out in Tempe next weekend against the Sun Devils? Let's discuss that much more in today's video. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Red and Black Report. Appreciate y'all tuning in to today's podcast video. A lot of fun talking about Texas Tech football, but unfortunately, sometimes we have to talk about injuries. It's the nature of football, right? And we're going to keep you updated here on the channel. And we're going to start with Skyler Gill-Howard because last night for Skyler Gill-Howard, hey, hand up for accountability. When I see an air cast, I'm thinking, okay, season's done. Season's done. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm sure a lot of y'all thought the same thing. He rode off in the cart with the cast, and air cast to be specific, on his lower leg. And I was like, wow, that is a devastating blow for Texas Tech. Obviously, I was making that reaction because, well, it was real time, and we didn't know any information about Skyler Gill-Howard. But we do have this from Joey McGuire in terms of the post-game presser. McGuire said he felt optimistic, actually, about Skyler Gill-Howard's injury prognosis. The trainers put him in an air cast, which was really just to be precautionary, which was huge for this. And they taped up his ankle, but unfortunately, after he was trying to go through some things in the indoor to see if he was, mobile enough to go out there and play, they said, hey, we're going to play this safe. You're a guy that we need long-term. And he was unable to go in the second half of the KU game, which makes sense. But it sounds like, from what Joey McGuire is saying, they don't think this is going to be a season-ending injury. In fact, it sounds like it may be on the shorter side. Now, obviously, they're going to see how he feels going into Sunday. And at the time of this recording, it's Sunday morning. You'll get this on Sunday evening in terms of when this video will go out. But that is big for Texas Tech because the line of scrimmage for the Red Raiders on the defensive side of the football is the strength of this team. Full stop, okay? They had 9 sacks against Kansas. I mean, David Bailey's getting a lot of love, but Romello Heights dominant as well, right? Lee Hunter dominant as well. I thought A.J. Holmes Jr. was arguably the second best player on that Texas Tech defensive line last night, and that's saying something because Romello Heights had 2 sacks, and we know what David Bailey did with his 3 sacks, okay? This defensive line is loaded, but Skyler Gill-Howard, don't get it twisted, is the leader of that group. I mean, period. Right? You can say Jacob Rodriguez is the leader of the defense. I think Skyler Gill-Howard's a close second. I truly believe that. So having it to where he is not going to be out long-term, it sounds like they're going to be smart about this, obviously, in terms of the injury, but it looked a lot worse than it did on TV, or I guess it was a lot less worse. Word scrambling in my mind right there, but you get my point. It's not as bad as we thought on TV. When I see an air cast, again, I'm thinking to myself, damn, that's how his season ends. But that is far from the truth. He was back out on the sideline in his pads, and he was with his brothers on the sideline last night when Texas Tech was dominant in the second half, making the KU offense look like they maybe should have been playing at a D3 level instead of the Power 4. So that's the positive news for Skyler Gill-Howard. Now we need to talk about QB1 because this is interesting, okay? It sounds like it was a calf for Behren Morton, and it was on the same leg that was bothering him when he missed the Utah game. And obviously he didn't miss any time there. Texas Tech got lucky in terms of the scheduling from a bye perspective, so it gave Behren Morton a little bit more time. But we've got an update on Behren Morton from CBS Sports' Matt Zenitz. An update on Texas Tech quarterback Behren Morton, who left yesterday's win over Kansas due to a leg injury. There is optimism he won't end up missing any games and that he'll end up being available for the 6-0 Red Raiders upcoming matchup versus Arizona State, sources tell CBS Sports. First and foremost, this is awesome to hear. And I know there's a lot of people that want Will Hammond to start at quarterback. I personally am not one of them. That is not a shot at Will Hammond. I just think Behren Morton allows you to have a higher ceiling. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean that Will Hammond's not talented. I mean, we saw what he did, and I'm sorry, Will. That's on me. I did not say his name properly there. That is on me. Wheels Hammond, not Will. Wheels Hammond. Y'all saw what he did to that KU defender for the final Texas Tech touchdown last night, lowering the shoulder and sending that man into another time zone with how he laid the wood there. No pause necessary. That being said, I think Texas Tech is at their best when they have their leader on the offensive side of the football, and that is unquestionably Behren Morton. Okay? I thought Behren looked pretty good, actually, rewatching the tape last night. I thought I was a little too critical of him in the post-game video that I did here on the channel, saying neither quarterback played well. Again, hand up for accountability. I went back and I watched it. I thought Behren Morton actually was playing pretty damn well. And there was a couple of throws, he's human, that he missed on. But overall, he was good in the limited time that we saw him play against the Kansas Jayhawks. That being said, again, if he can go against the Arizona State Sun Devils, you play him. But if he's nowhere near 100%, and you're having to limit the offense and what you can do, you should start Will Hammond. And I'm not saying anything that, Joey McGuire or Mac Leftwich and everybody else doesn't know. I mean, after all, I am just a guy with a podcast, right? But I think that makes sense. Behren Morton is the guy that gets you to your ceiling if you're the Red Raiders. And the ceiling for this team, I'm not trying to overreact to 6 games. We're halfway through the season. I truly believe this, and you can clip it. You can do whatever the hell you want with it. I do not care. The ceiling for this team with this defense, and if this offensive line plays the way they did against the Kansas Jayhawks, this is a national title type team. Okay, I'm not saying they're going to win it, but there is a real shot that they can do it in terms of getting there, right? This is a team that nobody wants to play in the college football playoff because they don't want to have to face off against that defensive line. They don't want to have to face off against the best linebacker in the country and Jacob Rodriguez. And that secondary, that was a huge question mark for the Red Raiders coming into the season, no longer a question mark. That defense is all kinds of legit and easily a top 3 unit in all of college football from top to bottom. Offensively, you don't want to play the Red Raiders because they're explosive as hell, okay? You're going to take away the pass game. The Red Raiders almost had as many rushing yards last night as Kansas did total yards. Cam Dickey had one of the best games a Texas Tech running back has ever had. One of the top 5 performances by a Texas Tech running back, okay? He had a real shot to break the single-game rushing record, but hey, it ran out of time, and it was a blowout, right? You won by 25, and you continue that streak. And I think the quarterback that gives you the best opportunity to reach your ceiling, which is true, impactful playoff football, is Behren Morton. And if he's healthy, we've seen what he can do. Now, that is a big if, and I get the frustration by a lot of people in terms of, man, it feels like every game you're just holding your breath. I truly understand that, and there's probably not anybody else on the planet that feels worse about this than Behren Morton. Again, I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know. That said, you have a chance, if you are Texas Tech, to do something special this year. And if Behren Morton can play and you can keep 100% of the offense at his disposal, damn it, you play him. Okay? That's how I feel about it. You can have a run package in for Will Hammond if you want near the goal line, but you got to keep him honest in terms of not just running it with Will. You have to install some pass plays too to keep the defense honest. That being said, from what we watched last night, from the Skyler Gill-Howard injury and the Behren Morton injury, best case scenario for Texas Tech right now? I mean, this is easily the best case scenario, in my opinion. I thought Skyler Gill-Howard was done for the season. It does not sound like it is. Again, that air cast fooled me. And I know they did it for precautionary purposes, but man, I was quick to judgment on that one, and I was scared to death that the Red Raiders lost their defensive line leader. But it sounds like he could be okay. Maybe he doesn't play this week, but it sounds like he's going to play again this season, and sooner rather than later. And it sounds the same for Behren Morton, as Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports is reporting that there is optimism for Behren Morton to not miss any time, and his availability to play out in Tempe on Fox on Saturday afternoon this upcoming week against, well, what will inevitably be the unranked Arizona State Sun Devils after they got absolutely shellacked. I mean, just absolutely just sent to oblivion in Salt Lake City. Granted, no Sam Levitt, but 42-10, and Utah didn't really even have to throw the football. Devin Dampier just ran all over, and I think that that's a pretty good indicator of how good this Texas Tech defense is. Devin Dampier couldn't do nothing against them. And the Arizona State defense allowed 42 points, obviously without their leader on the offensive side of the football and Sam Levitt. But we'll monitor these injuries throughout the week. Again, it sounds like Behren Morton has some potential to play this week. Nothing set in stone yet. Same with Skyler Gill-Howard. Maybe that one's a little bit longer. Maybe he misses this Arizona State game and is back for Oklahoma State, Kansas State, one of those two. We shall see. But I'll tell you this. You'll be the first to know about it because you're subscribed here. You're subscribed to the Red and Black Report, the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, because it's 100% free and you want authentic content, entertaining content surrounding the Red Raiders. This is the place to be. We're on our way to 13K. Appreciate each and every one of y'all for tuning in to today's video. Again, just a quick reminder, be sure to like the video and hit that subscribe button to join the largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube, whether it's Texas Tech football, men's basketball, the portal, high school recruiting, or any news in between. We've got you covered right here on the Red and Black Report. All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, as always, stay safe and Wreck 'em Tech.